Welcome to Real Shock, the good, the bad, and the what the f***, where I make an unsuspecting guest watch the worst, weirdest, and most disturbing films so you don't have to. With me today is my friend Wesley, who together we dive deep into this brutal fever dream of trauma, torture, and transcendence.
Yep.
This is not your average horror film. This is a spiritual crisis wrapped in skin and screams. So grab your blanket, your barf bag, and possibly your therapist, because we are watching 2008's Martyrs. Real Shock. Wes, first reactions.
That was a tough watch.
Yeah, you messaged me right after. You seemed kind of bummed.
Yeah, there's maybe some anger in those texts a little bit.
You were definitely someone who said, I want to see something, but I also don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole. And this was tough for me because I said, this is that, but it's also a good film. So I didn't know where to place this. And I guess I was wrong.
I think this might be down the rabbit hole.
This is wrong. Okay.
I'm not a big fan of like huge torture movies. So I think this is probably a little bit further than I would go myself. So it was worth holding on to, but yeah, it's a ride.
Now, I like to ask all my guests so we know why you're watching the films you're watching. What's your 3 favorite films?
Off the top of my head, some of my favorite movies are Back to the Future.
That's a banger of a film feature.
It's perfect. There Will Be Blood, and let's throw No Country in there as well.
Why not? No Country is beautiful. You mentioned earlier that this was not for you, and you almost turned it off. How did you get through it?
Yeah, if this wasn't for a show, I probably would have tapped out.
Yeah.
It's just so not my thing. And you have to really hope that it pays off, that it gets there in the end. I think if you can stomach a little bit of torture, it's worth the payoff.
It's hard to stomach, but it's for a reason.
But also, you don't have to watch it.
No, don't watch it. Maybe don't watch the show instead.
Yeah.
You just want to. This is how you knew about Martyrs. You could tell your friends you watched it, but you just watched this. Why don't we get into the breakdown?
Let's do it.
Okay, spoilers ahead, folks. By the way, this also contains very graphic scenes. I'm probably going to blur a lot out, but just be warned. A terrified young girl, bloodied and barefoot, runs through screaming in an abandoned industrial industry. She is brought to an orphanage where we discover her name is Lucy. Despite physical healing, Lucy is deeply traumatized, and she has refused to speak about what has happened and is haunted by terrifying visions. At the orphanage, Lucy forms a close bond with another young girl named Anna, who becomes her protector and only friend. Anna is gentle, patient, and loving, but even she begins to question Lucy's violent and disturbing visions. Despite therapy and support, Lucy's inner demons remains. A disfigured woman continues to appear, mutilating Lucy in brutal attacks, but no one else can see her. And then we jump to 15 years later.
This was the first suspicion we might be in a supernatural story, which I wasn't aware of. I didn't know anything going into this.
This movie really makes it look like this is supernatural, doesn't it? This is not. Is it too soon to say this is not like a ghostly film? I don't think it is, but you know what?
I don't think it's if you're thinking it's a supernatural demon movie, I don't think it is that.
So this is going to take us to our first Martyr Moment. Brought to you by BébéBright Adoption Agency. We are watching a woman break into a nice family home and annihilate the entire family. What'd you think of the total massacre at this beautiful family's house?
Within 15 to 20 minutes of the movie?
This is like the first 15 minutes of the movie. We just get a nice family. We get to know the brother and sister. The dad answers the door and is annihilated with a shotgun. I think the worst is the son. A little bit suspenseful before the son dies.
Interesting.
Yeah. What was you, the daughter?
The daughter. I think you could maybe interpret it that the son is aware.
I think it was just a suspense for me about the son.
Okay.
Like just sitting there watching, waiting. The son, it's like a Tarantino film. We're not on her when the gun goes off. Right. We're on him. And he just gets blasted after waiting there for like a minute. And do you want to describe the daughters? Like
the daughter's murder?
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember exactly that. I think she ran away.
Yeah, she did. She runs under the bed where she's kind of toying with the daughter. She shoots under the bed, but doesn't hit her.
This movie gets going to like a depressing state kind of quickly. Like with the daughter, it is pretty visceral because she is a young girl. You get this quick scene of her being like brotherly with her sibling, and then they just kind of quickly devolve into like really kind of visceral violence.
That martyr moment was brought to you by BébéBright Adoption Agency, because every child deserves a future. Their team is there to guide you through every step of the adoption process, because love doesn't need to be biological to be real. After the massacre of the seemingly normal family in their home, we realized the killer was Lucy the entire time. Did you kind of pick up on that?
Yes. Yep. It took me a second to make sure who was Lucy, who was Anna, but
good job of like matching up the kid and the adult there to look the same. Almost looks like the same person to me. She is now overcome with paranoia and guilt, so she decides to call Anna. She believes that the creature that's haunting her since childhood is still after her. Anna arrives and is horrified by the carnage and questions whether Lucy truly found the people responsible for her childhood torture. Anna tries to manage the situation and clean up, but Lucy is tormented by increasingly violent visions of the creature who attacked and mutilated her. We get several flashbacks of how Lucy escaped, but before leaving, she comes across another mutilated woman who Lucy can't help. That woman is the creature hunting Lucy. Lucy believes killing the family would release both herself and the zombie woman. But Anna knows that the mom is still alive and has been keeping that secret. Lucy rectifies that by beating her with a hammer. She realizes there's no relief, and even after killing the family members she believes who were responsible, the demon cuts open Lucy's arms. But from Anna's point of view, we see Lucy doing this to herself. In a moment of haunting calm, Lucy cuts her own throat and dies, unable to escape her trauma or forgive herself. That was pretty much the entire first act.
Yep.
Yeah. How'd you feel about that? Did you know where this movie was going? We've got to the demon. We've got our main character dead already.
Yeah, that was surprising to lose the main character right away. Mm-hmm. That made me think that, okay, Anna's going to have to play a larger role, obviously, from here on out. What I really liked is that this movie dispels the theory of that supernatural demon like really quickly. It doesn't keep it running throughout the movie where you're just thinking, oh, is this a supernatural? Is this more trauma?
Yeah, I forgot to mention, I hate the supernatural aspect of this. I mean, it's not supernatural because it was in her head, and I think that's supposed to be very, how it's supposed to be seen is like, this is just in her head. This isn't a real supernatural thing. I like that, but before that, I was really annoyed at the film that there was like a ghost running around, a demon running around trying to kill her.
Sure.
But they did such a good job of ending this act that I still love this movie.
Oh yeah, I actually have no issues with it, especially with where it goes. Seeing things that aren't real, that does factor in. So I think it was actually important probably to lay that groundwork that was done to Lucy results in her seeing things that don't actually exist.
Also didn't work. Wonder why she thought killing this family was going to get rid of this demon. I kind of thought it was because the mom was alive for a while, but she ends up bashing the mom's head in and still did nothing.
I think it's a little bit of a running theme of people finally capping off what they believe to be the thing that they needed to do and it not exactly providing them the comfort that they had hoped it might.
My father came with me.
After Lucy's violent rampage and her ultimate Anna is left alone to process the chaos. Grief-stricken and confused, she begins to clean up the aftermath at the house. As she explores further, she discovers a hidden passage behind a cabinet that leads to a secret underground complex. Venturing inside, Anna uncovers a sterile, clinical environment that starkly contrasts the home above. Which brings us to our next Martyr Moment, brought to you by BébéBright Adoption Agency. Anna finds a tortured woman chained in a cell, naked, filthy, and covered in scars, in a bizarre metal contraption bolted to her head. Anna is horrified, but her instinct is to help, not flee. Wes, what did you think of this change in tone?
Oh yeah, we only get deeper into it from here. The main thing watching it was like, if you go into a basement of a house that your friend just murdered people in, and then you see a hatch, are you going down that hatch?
No.
I'm not going down that hatch.
No, that's a tough watch. But the only thing I have to say is she just watched her friend kill herself. Maybe she was annoyed that this was for no reason. Like she didn't believe in that this was the family. You could tell that, and she was making us, the audience, believe like, you got it wrong. You just killed a whole family. Now, because this is a horror film, we didn't actually think that. We thought, come on, we know something's going on with this family. She also doesn't know that this is going to be a bigger picture. At this moment, she thinks the whole family's dead. This house is free to roam. So she's just investigating. Also, she thinks she's safe and she can rescue this girl now. So without knowing too much about this film, I'm going to give her points. I'm going to say this is something that somebody might do.
It's not just for plot convenience.
Yeah, especially someone like a good person like Anna, who was helping Lucy to begin with. We know she's just a great person, so it fits her character. I'll give it to her on this one. Brought to you by BébéBright Adoption Agency. Have children.
The faster you give your blessings away.
Finding the perfect addition to your family shouldn't be complicated because parenthood shouldn't be paperwork. Just want to thank Bébé again for sponsoring this video. After discovering the mutilated woman in the basement, Anna does her best to care for her, feeding, bathing, and trying to remove the metal contraption screwed into her skull. But any hope of escape or rescue is shattered when a group of mysterious people suddenly arrives, shooting the woman in the head and takes control over the house. Anna is captured and introduced to Mademoiselle, the leader of the secret cult that believes martyrdom, achieved through the enduring extreme pain and suffering, can offer a glimpse of the afterlife. The mutilated woman was one of their subjects, and now Anna is chosen next. So where is this movie going for you? Were you expecting any of this? Like, you got supernatural, now you're getting into like cult.
I started getting worried at this point because there hadn't been a lot of torture up to this point.
So you knew there was going to be torture?
You might have mentioned it, or just I put together the context clues of it being depressing, and then that opening scene of her, getting out of this.
I think I might have mentioned it too, because you mentioned you did not want to see torture, and I said, well, it's not torture porn.
I did, Jay. I did say that.
It's cinematic. It's not going to be friendly.
Yeah.
No torture is.
It's in service of something.
But I think I did have to give you a warning because, man, was this the most torture-filled movie ever of all time? What'd you think of the cult arriving? Were you...
I think the movie gets going here. I think it starts to find its footing. I don't maybe necessarily like where it's going to head, but this to me felt like it was okay. It has its footing under it, and it's going to go somewhere. And with the backstory that Mademoiselle gives of the cult, you can kind of see it.
Yeah,
all coming together.
Yeah, I love this part. I actually don't ever think of the other stuff. In fact, a few years ago, I completely forgot about the ghostly stuff. That seems so short in my head because this movie is going to really affect your brain and you're going to think about it a lot. And it's not going to be the stuff before this. It's going to be everything you're going to see after this moment. So this is like, to me, where the movie starts, and we're like well into the halfway point, right?
Yep.
But to me, this is the movie. It was just great, not just character building, but like a great plot building. The story itself had a life. We didn't even need a main character until now. We just needed this house to be alive, this family to be, these kids from an orphanage to get here. Everything was perfect. I don't usually like long intros, but this worked.
And we're starting to bring in the despair. Like, she saves this woman from the basement.
Oh yeah, she's good
being
person
kind
too,
to her.
she?
She's trying to save her, and then she gets shot in the head, and this cult comes in, and you can kind of put it together that it's not going to go too great from here on out.
She's imprisoned in a sterile underground cell and is subjected to relentless torture, daily beatings, psychological abuse, and starvation. Her body is broken down over time and her spirit nearly exhausted. Eventually, Anna slips into a numb, almost transcendent state, and the cult deems her ready for the final stages, which is going to bring us to our third Martyr Moment. Brought to you by Bébé Adoption. She is now flayed alive, her skin carefully and surgically removed while she remains conscious, marking the moment she allegedly achieves martyrdom. Without going too far ahead, what did you think about all the beatings, all the abuse, all the way up until the flaying?
The beatings is when I almost turned it off. That was my breaking point. That was, yeah, wow. That was
watching her getting punched in the face a lot sucks.
No, watching her get knocked out and then they snap her to just to knock her out again.
I forgot
that is really visceral. That is the point. That was my breaking point. That was the hardest part of the whole movie for me. And then it's not getting any better.
And so what about the flaying?
You know what? I didn't love it.
Yeah. This martyr moment was brought to you by Bébé Adoption Agency.
If you've been disobedient, he'll take care of you with a spanking.
Some doors close, we open windows. Sometimes things don't work out the natural way, and that's why Bébé offers a wide range of variety for available children from various situations. No judgment, no waiting lists, no background checks. Start your family today. They won't ask questions if you don't. Thank you for being a sponsor. Remarkably, Anna remains alive and enters a state of transcendence. The cult's medical staff observes her, and they are convinced she has reached a higher state of consciousness. Mademoiselle is called in to hear Anna's final whispered words, whatever glimpse of the afterlife Anna may have seen. The cult members arrive at the house. Shaken and visibly moved, Mademoiselle retires to a private room while the other cult members gather in anticipation. They ask her what Anna said, which gets us to our final martyr moment. Instead of sharing Anna's message, Mademoiselle removes her makeup, looks at her assistant, and cryptically says, "Keep doubting," before placing a gun in her mouth and killing herself. That's a great scene.
This is the scene of the movie. This is it.
We weren't just watching a torture film here. We were watching something else. A culty film? I don't know. I just love seeing this scene. It really ties everything together. I really liked how we were with her a lot more than I remember. She's taking off her makeup. Like, she's just going through this hell. And we have no idea what was said. Do you have any ideas?
I love how ambiguous it is. It's a real, like, the top spinning for Cobb at the end of Inception. Like, you can take away kind of what you want to in that. I feel like the movie leads you to believe that it's a little bit more nihilistic, that maybe she finds out that there isn't actually anything there on that other side.
Oh, hold on a second. I'm getting a phone call. Hello? Yeah. No, I'm saying the ads. I've said every ad. I'm saying the ads. No, he's not responding to them. No, he doesn't want a kid. No, he doesn't want a kid. Okay, I'm saying the ads. I'll do it. Okay. Once again, I just want to thank our sponsors, BébéBright Adoption Agency. The child of your dreams is waiting for you, and so are we. At BébéBright, we believe every child has a destiny, and so do you. Our placement circle ensures each soul finds its rightful home, choosing not by chance, but by something older. We've been matching families for generations, longer than you may think. Welcome to the beginning of something sacred. Again, BébéBright, thank you so much for sponsoring this video. Now, you think that's what the Keep Doubting is trying to say?
If she is the leader of this cult, maybe she's trying to save them. Maybe
she feels very leader, by the way, right?
Oh, 100%.
She was the one that got the message received to her, but why would she be that person if she wasn't the leader?
It's very like religion coded. They're very referential. They start talking about Anna as if she's like a saint. Mm-hmm. I think there's a take where you could say that Mademoiselle is the martyr, because it's possible that she realizes what they've been doing is all for naught. It doesn't actually add up to anything. And then to save her followers from the pain and the guilt of what they've done, she kills herself to, reaffirm.
I have a little bit of a problem with this, because I feel like if you were a cult, you're only going to accept something being told to you about the afterlife in a positive way. So if that person says like there's nothing, you're not going to believe them. Even if there was nothing, you're gonna be like, nope, you're lying.
Do you think you still have the faculties to lie when you're in that state?
I don't know. I like to think that that's what makes Anna the main character, is a lie at the end. Because after this scene, we actually do go to her. She's not smiling, but it zooms in on her laying. She's dead, right?
They say she's still alive,
somewhat alive in a pool of water kind of thing. And I like to think that that last little shot of her is like her like little like gotcha moment. Probably not true at all. This is a very nihilistic film. Yeah. You're not going to go down that road. But if you want to enjoy a little something out of this film, because you're not going to enjoy much, have a little moment to think maybe Anna got them at the end. The whole cult played a little trickaroo.
I think you can go about that ending in a lot of different ways. They do zoom in on Anna's eyes when she's having that moment, and it does cut to like white.
It does kind of show from a filmmaker point of view, she does see something.
Well, and also I think like in science they're learning that like your brain might be dumping huge amounts of like drugs as you die. So that's what some people might call a near-death experience, right? And this movie just set up the fact that having all of these things done to you result in you seeing things that aren't there, right? Lucy saw the demon. That woman from the basement saw bugs crawling over her skin. That's why she wanted to cut it off. So maybe this resulted in Anna seeing something that wasn't there. So what if she even gave a report that isn't reliable because,
the martyrdom is creating hallucinations in these people, not truth. And again, that's what I said about the cult. They'll believe anything because they want to. And whatever she saw at the end probably wasn't true, but believable enough for Mademoiselle to put a gun in her mouth and pull the trigger.
What is your take on it?
The first time I watched it, I don't think I understood enough that I thought I kind of thought maybe she described hell there.
That's a take. But then wouldn't she be hastening her own trip there? If there's a hell and you're probably headed there, would you want to then speed up your trip?
Yeah, you're right. But the keep doubting too is like not a positive thing. It's not like you want to speed it up for any reason, regardless. You know, even if there's a heaven, keep doubting wrecks that. I actually don't know. I like to not think about it. I like to think that my new take is Anna screwed them over.
Would be
But
nice.
my other take was that she described something horrific and like, you're going to hate it. And she's like, you know what? This is so pointless. I'm just going to kill myself.
What do you think is the last thing that Mademoiselle would want to hear? I think it might be that the universe is cold and indifferent towards you and it does not care. And that what you've done is you've just become a complete monster to prove something that doesn't even exist. I think that might be the most damaging.
I don't know. Great ending.
Great ending.
Love it.
Great.
So that will bring us to our most what the moment. I got 3 options for you here, even though there was probably about 4 or 5. We're going to start it off with the family massacre being number 1. I think that was an obvious what the fuck moment. Number 2, we're going to go right to the filleting. Both you and me agree that visually it wasn't the worst part for us, but let's put this in the perspective of Anna. She was just flayed alive just to get something out of her after her beatings. And number 3, Mademoiselle sticks a gun in her mouth and pulls the trigger. All 3 things, shocking, don't know where the hell they came from. Honorable mention was finding the lady in the basement, but if you watch enough horror films, you're kind of used to that stuff. So Wes, go ahead and give me a most what the moment.
It's not original, but it's the flaying. The way they set it up, they're finally bathing her. They're showing some compassion towards her. They're telling her that there's only one stage left. You don't need to, be so afraid anymore. And I guess most people would steel themselves knowing what comes next, but it's hard to prepare yourself for a complete flaying other than her face. They
leave her face just so we get her emotions and what we see in her eyes. You don't just see this as like a little makeup puppet. You get to still see her, which is messed up. I'm going to go with Mademoiselle sticks a gun in her mouth just because I find it so cool and shocking. Now, the murder at the beginning was pretty shocking, but not that crazy from a Tarantino film. No. You could see it, and it was cool as hell. The filleting, again, very shocking for the main character to be flayed alive. My brain just tends to turn off because she's just been tortured so much that I'm just like, okay, it's over for her. Let's just get to the next part. And then I was shocked by Mademoiselle sticking a gun in her mouth because that's not where I thought the ending was going to go. So we're not on the same page, but both great scenes. And definitely the first scene is going to be somebody else's honorable or most what the fuck moment there. Wes, final thoughts. Martyrs. How did you like it? Are you bummed out that I showed it to you? And is it going to be one of your favorites soon?
It is not a movie I enjoyed. Wasn't until the movie finished where I actually thought that, oh, this is a good movie. Like it took me a while to put my thoughts together.
I think I said that too. Did I not? I'm like, listen, this is gonna seem like something that I just threw at you, but I'm telling you, it's not. Like it's gonna have a message at the end of it, or maybe not a message, but it's gonna have a great point to the film, a great plot. I didn't want to wreck your day. I was hoping by the end of it, you'd be like thinking back, I loved it. But it's hard to watch 2 hours of this and say I loved it.
Yeah. If you're adverse to torture, this probably isn't the movie for you, but it isn't senseless torture. There is something at the end of that fucked up rainbow. It's actually an interesting question, and I think it actually raises a lot of interesting questions with that ending.
Even with the flaying, it's somehow not torture. It's a very heavy torture idea, but we're not seeing like guts and blood spill out.
They actually cut away from it too.
They cut away from it a lot. They're really not trying to be a-holes with the torture. They're showing you the brutality of it, not the grossness of it. Anything else you want to say about Martyrs?
Do you know how old you had to be in France to go see this movie when it came out?
It's France, so I'm going to say 16?
16. They wanted it 18 and they lowered it to 16.
Yeah, because they're freaking weird.
Ooh.
They're weirdos, the French. 16 is like they're 18. Could you imagine being 16 and seeing this?
There's no coming back from that.
And this started the French extreme cinema, and now it's just going to get worse from here on out for the French. They love this stuff.
I think this was banned in actually some other countries too. So also, would it surprise you to know that he was in a state of clinical depression when he wrote this movie?
That's not surprising at all. Very nihilistic. The nihilistic version of Hostel. That's a great way of putting this. This is Hostel with no hope. That's it for 2008's Martyrs. Anything else, Wes?
No, thanks for having me on.
Thanks for watching it, man. I appreciate it. I'm sorry for wrecking your day yesterday, and hopefully not your future either.
I'm glad to watch this so that your other guests don't have to.
Oh, that's good. That's a good way of putting it.
Right? Consider me a martyr.
Listen, I gave.
Oh, well done there. Okay. Well, thanks, guys.
See ya.
Classroom, or in old language, a couple thousand years ago, disciples.
Of trauma, torture, and transcendence.
Those who are trying to prepare themselves for entry into the evolutionary level above human, synonymous with the kingdom of God, the kingdom of heaven.
With me today is my friend Wesley, who together we dive deep into this brutal fever dream of trauma.
We'll title this tape